I think of this library as a cornerstone of Eugene. I think of it as a cornerstone of who we are as a city and the values we have. And the library has been a pretty important place in helping people who don't necessarily have the materials to try to look for their new future, to find a way to make their way through this hard period. It's owned by all of us, not just some of us, but all of us. I love my library.
We know that literacy is the key to success in life and in community. What we've found over many years of research is that early literacy contributes to students to being able to be really successful in their educational careers. And libraries, and particularly this library, have been really instrumental in trying to address the literacy needs of its community members, with a focus on youth literacy and adult literacy, which is so key to having an informed citizenry.
I got involved with the Eugene Public Library Foundation by a friendship with Tom Wiper, and a lot of arguments about the value of library and bonding and total costs. It's an amazing resource beyond what most people have any awareness, the things that you can do in a library. Finding jobs, finding rental apartments, access to technology and information that's not otherwise available.
When I originally moved here about 10 years ago, I didn't really have a place to stay. I didn't have access to a lot of the services like the internet, definitely not books or any of that stuff. And as soon as I could get an ID here in town, they gave me a card, and I definitely use it for access to study material, lots of reading, magazines, any of that kind of stuff for school. I love my library.
A typical visit to the library with my children usually starts on an afternoon of a weekday. My son is 11 years old and my daughter is 8 years old. And we come in and we make a beeline for the children's area, and my children rapidly disappear. They love to just go explore all the shelves and find their new books for the week. I usually go to the computer and I'm looking up the specific books that I need to help my children with their education. I love my library.
We use the library at least 3 times a week, I would say. Primarily, we use it for story time. I think Ruby really gets a lot out of the books at the library and the social aspects of the library, meeting all the other kids.
This library became a core part of our family as soon as we arrived.
Well, we started out reading the picture books and then moved into the younger children chapter books, and it was thrilling when I was finally able to go over to the young adult section because it was so special to be able to check out bigger kid books.
I come here to get to know myself and get out of the house and enjoy myself.
I come here to, check out books, meet some new friendly people.
The Eugene Library has a fantastic selection of online resources. It's broken out by kids and adults in different categories. The ones for kids are fantastic. They've got some of my favorite websites, Tumble Books and Tumble Readables. I really encourage parents to use those to help their kids learn how to read and to have fun with their kids.
I always check the new fiction. I'm enthralled with good writing. I also use the resources that are built into the electronic system. Before a major purchase, I'm using consumer reports. I check the stock ratings. I always tell people, go walk through the library. It will open doors for you that you didn't even know you wanted to go through. I love my library.
The mission of Eugene Public Library is to provide access to the universe of ideas and information for the entire community. Because we have branches in our system, the Eugene Library is integrated so that all resources are available to anyone, no matter what location you're approaching from. It's part of our philosophy of no wrong door. Some of the gifts that the foundation has given to the library that have made a real difference, obviously during the construction of this beautiful building, the foundation pledged and raised $5 million. The biggest difference that the foundation's been able to make has been to expand our materials budget, and their support provides about 17% of our current materials budget. They also provide funding for many of the new books coming in on the shelves that just fly out the door.
My husband Dan and I decided a few years ago that we valued this library so much that we included it in our will, and we also contribute to the foundation each year because we want this beautiful library to continue. The best thing about it is coming in here on a rainy day or a hot summer afternoon and seeing the diversity of people here. The older people, young kids, teenagers, it's a place that's used. I love my library.
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 I love my library. I love